Hello, everybody. Welcome. How are y'all doing today? Love your hair, Grace. The blue. I tried that color, like that dark blue, and before, and it just doesn't work on me, but it's working.
This is an Aveda color, and so it's done by
Ah,
a pro. It's not a 2 weeks, three washes, and it's gone.
yes.
It's here forever.
I need to do that. The blues do last a really long time, though, I've noticed, because I usually do purple, which is not in there right now because I've been lazy, but yeah, the blues tend to stay for a lot
Yeah, if,
longer.
if I want to get rid of it, I have to grow it out. It does
Yeah,
not wash out.
that's amazing. That's amazing. Because I just do like the purple and then it goes over my grays. And but then like 2 weeks later it's gone and then I have to do it again, which I never do. And so hit or miss. But I love that. I need to do that professionally. That's a good tip. Hi everybody. Hi Andy. Hello. So excited y'all are here. I haven't done a workshop in a long time. I think I was realizing it today that it's been an entire year since I did a workshop, and I used to do them all the time, but it's been a very rocky, rocky year. So I feel like maybe like things are settling and I'm going to be able to do life again a little bit better. So I'm so happy that y'all all joined me today. I'm really excited about this workshop. Um, it's a version of a workshop I've done before, but if you've ever participated in my programs, they are um, you could look at the same artwork every week and you are going to have a different perspective on it because you change from week to week. So it's been 3 years since I showed anybody this artwork. So like it's all going to be brand new. I'm probably going to have a brand new interpretation of it too. So I see you all introducing yourselves in the chat from Antigua. That's awesome. Iowa City, also awesome. Missouri, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Portland, wonderful. I am in Dallas. So if you don't know me, I mean, I'm sure you do since you're here because I really only promoted this on my email. I think I posted it to social one time because I'm kind of little. I haven't been liking social media lately, so I'm just kind of staying away from it. So y'all know who I am, but I'm Cindy Ingram, and I'm an artist, and that is my like thing that I say now when people ask what I am, what I do. I say I'm an artist, and that's a hard thing to kind of get to the place of saying. But I think it's true now. Like I believe it in my core that that's really actually what I'm supposed to be doing. It just took me a really long time to get here. And what I've learned in the process of discovering art again, well, I've looked at art my whole life. I have an art history degree. I helped art teachers teach art appreciation, still do. Um, but I didn't actually make art for myself since college. And then in 2021, I was meditating December 23rd, 2021, exactly. I remember the exact date, which I don't remember things like that. But I was like, I was like, how do I show people the power that art has? And I got this message in my head, and which has never happened. I can't even remember what it sounded like or anything, but it did not feel like me. And it says through your art. And my immediate reaction was no, I can't, no, I can't do that. I look at art, I don't make art. But that message was so clear that I had to listen. And I was very, very, very resistant. And it took me a good 8 months probably before I actually made anything. I had to, make my art space and organize it and get all my supplies. Excuse me as I'm admitting people in the room and being distracted for a minute. And uh, that day changed the course the rest of my life. I now know why I got that message. I now know that's what I'm supposed to do, and I'm so happy you're here because I know what it's like to be scared of creativity and to be scared of your own power and your own ability of art making and your own talents and your, like all the baggage. There's so much baggage that comes up with art. But when we're going to boil it all down to like the basic reasons of why we do it. And when I say make art, I am a writer too, but I'm coming from a place of visual art, but I'm meaning writing, and I'm meaning dancing, and I'm meaning whatever it is that your art form is, business, creating a business, whatever it is that you do. I say make art as a habit, but when you hear me say that, just know I'm meaning whatever you do too. It's just creativity. I try to say create, but it just comes out as make art a lot. So awesome. So I'm trying to decide. I think we're going to forego individual introductions because we have so many people in the room, and I'm so happy that you are all here. But you've already been saying hello in the chat. I would love to hear you say hello in the chat. We are going to get a chance to use our voice and to talk in the microphones today for sure. If you've ever been in any of my workshops, you know that this isn't a me talk and you listen type of thing. We are going to be very it's interactive. I want to make sure you have something to write with. I mean, you can type too, but you will be discussing and things like that. So yeah, say hello in the chat. Say anything about like what brought you here, your art form. I know we probably have a lot of teachers in the room, so you can, if you're a teacher, if you're a business owner, whatever, you can say, I don't like to be like, what do you do for a living? Like that's your identity. But, if you want to share that, you're welcome to do that as well. And before we get started, I have this program, Becoming Art, and we have a weekly meeting. And at the beginning of every call, I pull a oracle card or a tarot card or something to kind of set the intention for the week. And it usually, the cards that I pull for that group are the most powerful cards for me personally. I feel like I'm like, this is for me. And everybody's like, no, it's for me. And like, it's really kind of creepy. But the one I pulled one for today, and it was mainly just for me. But then I got it and I was like, oh, okay, this is for all of us. So I'm going to share it. And I actually took a picture of it so that you wouldn't have to see my shaky hand hold up the card. And of course, because my webcam stopped working right before the call, I closed all my windows and restarted my computer. So I have to reopen my presentation. It's like 3 minutes before and I couldn't get my webcam on, which has never happened. Okay, why we create, here we are. Excellent. Grace, tell your friend thank you for referring you to this. Sculptor and a jeweler, teaching artist in Hawaii. Amazing. We have Southern Maryland. Yeah, a lot of art teachers and art educators don't make their own art, mainly because they're too tired. But it's like we get wrapped up in like, no, we're not good enough. Which is wild because we tell our students that they're good enough, but we don't think we're good enough. Okay, so here's the card. Tell me if you can see it. I'm using Canva. Should be able to see that. Oh, this is from one of my favorite card decks, which is I love to use for our co-making calls in Becoming Art, because we have every other week we do a art making together. And it's because it's about creativity, and it's called the Muse Tarot Deck by Chris Ann, and it is fantastic. And so this is a 3 of materials, which in regular tarot would be 3 of Pentacles. But you can see, look at this. It's a lovely group of women all like cuddled together, and they're building a little tower up to the heavens because they're all working together, creating this wonderful thing. And they're doing it through collaboration, and they're doing it through becomingness and togetherness and beauty, and see how each of their like energies is like weaving together. And so I was just like, oh, this is the perfect card for this workshop. I'm so excited that I have pulled it. And also usually in those calls, we interpret the card together. But again, I wasn't planning on including this because this was mainly just, I was doing it beforehand, but I just wanted to share it because I had to. We will get to interpret art here in just a minute, but and then I wanted to read you the thing too. because this book has a fantastic book too. I have 2 of this person's decks. No, I have 3 of her decks, and I love them all. Works that you've created but never finished. Yes. Yes, I do too. And that I've painted over. You could probably see some in the background. No, they're not. You can't see the unfinished one. Oh, no, you can. It's that stack right there. Everything right there. Unfinished. Okay. So it says the keywords are the magic of collaboration, siblinghood, teamwork, group dynamics, relationships and responsibilities, mentors and students, getting along, helping one another, coming together for a common goal, cooperation, and fusing energies. And then it says the prompt is collaboration of souls. And it says they weave, play, create, and spin their world to life. These muses of collaboration and creation are able to spin brand new mixtures and to form new life out of seemingly nothing by adding their intention, energy, love, and ideas. Oh, and their work and their expertise. While one is leading, the others learn from her, and they sway and they twist and they flow from mentor to apprentice, teaching and absorbing. In their sacred flow, they draw in all the materials needed to create their spire of creation, their beautiful pattern of life. You too can work in unison with those around you, picking up leftover strings and filling in the gaps. The secret to this harmony is the pull push of egos dropped and the respectful sway of mutually beneficial awe for one another's talents. Show up in essence and create a loom of magnificence with those around you. Oh, so good. Okay. And then she has a little poem at the end of each one, and it says, in this sacred entangle, we create, form, and make energetic communion of breathed give and take. Sorry. I was like, is that breathed or breathed? Surely it's breathed. Okay. Let's see here. I have a question. The library deal I had a month ago. Shannon, yeah, you can stay after, and we can talk about that. And I do have a reporting, and I will send it out as well. All right. So, great. Okay, I'm going to take the card off. Take your last look at how pretty it is. This deck is gorgeous. Again, it's called the Muse Tarot. And so good for creativity. All right. What we're going to do today is the title of the workshop is Why We Create. And the subtitle, I had to check again because it's a lot of words. A workshop on creativity, meaning, and what matters most to you. And I think a lot of people, when creativity is brought up, we hear a lot of things. We hear, I don't have a creative bone in my body, or I'm not creative, I'm not artsy, I don't know how to draw. There's so many of these things that people like attach to their identity very early on in their life. But there are so many of us, and I include myself in it because I was so distanced from it from so long. Like if you would have asked me like 6 years ago if I included creativity like on my list of values, I would not have said yes. And I created a whole business, and I did, I was creating things constantly, and I was an art teacher, but like it wasn't something that really I made a part of my identity. But those people like us have this pull towards it. We have this thing in us that's like a curiosity, an extra special awe of like noticing when someone's creative and being kind of jealous, or there's just this little thing of like, oh, there's something here. Noticing, really, like we're big readers or something, and noticing a little bit of writing, you're like, oh god, that was really good writing. Like that was amazing. I'm gonna like highlight that line because it's so beautiful. Or we're like feel deeply at music, and like music is more than just like a catchy beat. It's like we're feeling it deeply, and that a lot of us, though, even though we're feeling this call to make art, to write, to do whatever, we don't do it for so many reasons. We don't. We're scared we're going to be bad at it. A lot of us want to be perfect right out the gate, which is why I have a digital piano sitting in my hallway and I do not play it because I'm not perfect at it. I'm like, I keep saying I'm going to do it. I played it when I was a child and I loved it, and I haven't played since. But I'm like, one of these days, literally not one of these days at this point. But there's just this thing, and it's like, okay, we know what good art is, and so we know we can't make good art. We don't know what our art media is. We want, there's just so many different things that keep us from doing it. But at the core base, before you, like, if you take away all that baggage, you take away all of those blocks, all of those things that keep you from doing it, there's that desire underneath. There's that why I want to do this. And so that's what we're going to focus on in this workshop is, why do you want to do this? Why are you here today? Why did you sign up for this? And we're going to think about that, and then we're going to think about that on another level, and then we're going to go deeper and think about it on an even deeper level. And we're going to really get down to like that core reason why. And then once you're there, then you know why you want to do it. Then you know that it's probably not what you expected, and that it's probably something that you can add into your life if you're not. And we'll see what happens from there. So first activity that we're going to do is, I'm going to put it up on the screen as well, so that you, if you're like me and have a very forgetful neurodivergent brain, you'll know what the questions are. Okay. All of the backgrounds are of my zine. I have a zine membership, so I was just like, they were already in Canva because I was planning the text. I was like, we'll just throw those up there. Okay, so this is the title. The question I want you to answer is, why do you create? Or why, and if you don't create, why do you want to create? Like, what brought you here? What is it you personally, why do you personally want to do it? So I'm going to give you, let's give you 5 minutes. I think we can, that'll give you plenty of time. Write that list, because we are going to come back to the list. So you do actually need to write it down and don't think about it, because we're going to keep using this list. All right. And if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the chat or on voice, and I can answer you. Okay, so fun fact, I often forget to set the timers. So I I realized at some point, and I was like, it's been about a minute and a half. And so I set a 3.5 minute timer. It that who knows how much time it was. Do y'all feel like you had enough time? I felt like I had a good amount of time. I did the activity too. And also spent a weirdly long amount of time trying to find the mute all button because there was some background noise. Like, why do they keep changing things on Zoom? I do not know why. They just like they're like, okay, it's in the bottom. Next week it'll be in the top, and next week it'll be somewhere else. Okay, I would love to hear some of your answers. You can type them in the chat, but I would absolutely love to hear some of your beautiful voices because I'm getting a little tired of my own. So if you would like to share some of yours, feel free to unmute yourself and share.
For me, it's one of the things is just the pure joy of creating, of making and creating, just the joy of it.
Yes, yes, I have that one on mine too. It's like it's just fun. I love it. What else? So Sasha in the comments, I create to see and express myself. And I love that see part. Like I think that's a really important part. It's not just expression, but it's learning about yourself through your creation too. Laura says she's intrinsically motivated to create, not to sell or for accolades. I enjoy the therapeutic process and the variety of meetings you try. Yeah, I have the kind of a similar one on mine. It was like I just have to, you know, like I don't really have a choice. Like even when I didn't think I was creating, I was because I just can't not do it. Cheaper than therapy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Monica here. I also wrote I can't not. What do I create? I can't not. But I also said it needs no approval or permission. So it's just something I can do, and nobody has to validate it. Nobody has to do anything. It's just mine. It's all mine.
Yes. And I love that because I think a lot of people actually feel like they do need permission and they feel, you know, and so that's kind of revolutionary. Like, because some people don't, I feel like there's a lot of people that don't feel like that freedom. And so I think that's really beautiful. So we have in the chat here, calming and relaxing, a way to express myself, way to speak out, create for sanity, relaxation, and to express myself, to reflect on my life, to set my emotions free, to connect with others, to be technically immersed. Oh, I love that, technically immersed. I was trying to think of something like that on mine. It's just like the movement of my hands and the doing of the thing that is so satisfying. Technically immersed. I like that. Beautiful. Yeah. Love all these responses. What else?
I kind of have to be doing things. Otherwise, it drives, I can't even go to a movie. I have to have knit in the dark. I mean, even now I'm sitting here knitting because in my weird brain, I concentrate better. I remember more. Yeah.
Kinesthetic learner. And also just that I'm the same way. Like I can't go to a meeting and just sit there. If I'm at a meeting and I'm not doing something with my hands, I'm like checking my email and my mind's not focused. But you know, so if my hands are doing something, I can keep my mind on whatever I'm supposed to keep my mind on. Love that. Can't stop visualizing things to make and create. Ooh, I full of ideas to share and inspire others. Awesome. Aaliyah, I love that. It's like you can't, it's a place to kind of process what's going on in the world. Yeah. I'm doing that a lot with not my art making. I feel like my art making right now is more of like a solace from what's going on in the world. It's like an escape, but my writing is where I can get that stuff out. Okay, so we have Anna, excuse me if I said that wrong, to tap into the source, an energy within me that feels connected and meaningful, to slow down and make me make sense of the world, this life, and attempt to manifest something that transcends the mundane. My life is crowded by everyday tasks, taking care of kids and sick parents. Oh, I am there 100%. Making something with my hands removes me from the burdens of caretaking and allows me to feel cared for by an internal energy, like a kindred spirit I miss and long for. Oh, I love that so much. And I relate to that so hard. You don't even know. You don't know what's going on. I haven't told anybody what's going on in my life on the internet, but like, yes, I've been in the midst of some very deep caretaking. And I have found that when I'm making art, I am the most myself. I'm like, I don't have to care about my daughter's OCD or her panic attacks or whatever it is that's happening with her. I can just be with me right now. So that was a beautiful answer. Thank you very much. And I relate to almost every single one of these, and that's so powerful about art. I love it. A gift for someone. I love that. That like it can be something like that. And it can be, I want to put something beautiful on my wall. I want to make something beautiful in this world. The place without distraction. So many. Okay, any more? I bet we could keep going. Let me check mine. I think I have all of mine y'all have said. I put make money and then in parentheses I put growl. I don't like that. But it's like making money from it allows me to do it more, so it's a tricky thing. Nervous system regulation. I put on mine as well, but someone else put something related to that, just in different words. To leave a mark when I am no longer around. Yeah, it's like we as humans have this desire to like, I don't know, but whatever this is, I can't get the words. To project, to legacy, to, to be invisible. We flower. Oh, I like that. Okay. That's what this is. This is like a flower blooming. Okay. To create some kind of inner order. Yeah. Awesome. Yes.
I will add that I like it because I don't make a lot, but when I do, I decorate my house with them. Like I had my husband make a frame for my painting. And yeah, I just like having my own art and his art around the house.
Yeah.
And your art.
Yes. Angie has one of my mosaics, my otter, which I always call my beaver. And it's like not a beaver, it's an otter, but I'm like, it's just so cute. Okay. Yeah, and I love collecting art from people I know and like art, like when I'm in a new city and I buy, something from a street artist and I've met the person and I've been in their energy. It's so cool. Like this. Well, actually, the camera's not pointing at it right now. There's something right there. It was like a New Orleans street artist. And what he did is he had raw canvas. He had 4 of them hanging from a metal fence. And he was just painting them all at the same time. And I was like, this is brilliant. I was like, you just get to stand here and paint. And he was like, and I don't have to decide when they're done. The buyer comes and is like, I would like that. And then he's like, okay, come back in 30 minutes so it's dry. And I'll roll it up for you. So he just gets to keep painting. So that's so cool. Awesome. Okay, I have a weird error on this screen. What does this mean? I'm gonna put my password in. Okay. No, it's fine. I think everything's fine. I'm having weird computer issues this week. I got a computer sent to me and it won't even turn on, but it was good because I think I manifested it because I'm starting this new like Uber part-time job, but they sent me a computer, but I wasn't ready to start yet. And so I get the computer and it doesn't work. And I'm like, I totally made that happen. Hopefully they're not here. No, they probably don't. They probably aren't. Okay. Great. Keep that list. And we're going to come back to it. But what we're going to do next is we are going to look at a work of art and interpret it together. So if you have, I know some of you have been in my workshops where we've looked at art and talked about it. That's my whole, pretty much what I've been doing since I was like 18, is looking at art and talking about it with people. I love to do this. And what I've learned over the years, it used to be, yay, we're interpreting art, is cool. And then somewhere along the way, it became, hey, wait a minute, like we're learning about ourselves while we're doing this. Like we're learning about deeper truths about the universe while we're doing this. We're connecting with like the inner self, that like that inner spirit, that it was Jill that said that. No, Anna that said that. Like we're connecting with something deeper, and we're learning about the world in a way that is wonderful. And I guess I already knew that, you know, with music, like when you're sad and you listen to a sad song, it helps you and you learn about yourself and all the things. But I started to realize that it was way deeper than just like learning art history. So when we're looking at this artwork together, I want to remind you, or tell you for the first time, if you're here for the first time, that there are no wrong answers. And that multiple people in this room are going to believe different things about the artwork. And that's great. Both interpretations can be true. And it all really does depend on where you're at. So like, there's one artwork I used to show all the time, and it was like, some people viewed it really negatively. They saw like the overwhelm of their life, and then other people are seeing this like hopeful, wonderful thing. And it's the same artwork. And I show a lot of contemporary art. We don't know what the artist was thinking. They're not writing it down. You know, there's like an art historian interpreting it, but still that's an interpretation too. Like that's their truth. But all of our truths can be true all at once. And so if you're thinking like, oh, this is probably weird for me to say this, believe me, it's not. Believe me, we want to hear everything you have to say, because usually when people preface it with this is probably weird, it's going to blow like half of the people in this room's mind. So please share those thoughts that you have about the artwork. Okay, and then you will see as we start talking about it, you'll start to notice, hey, wait a minute, this kind of relates to the activity we did at the beginning. Spoiler alert, it does. Okay, hold on, let me get to the artwork. And I used to be afraid of sharing the same artwork twice, but then I had one experience where I did 2 workshops in 1 week, and one was on a Monday and one was on a Thursday. And I had a particularly traumatic event happen right before the first one, where my sister like yelled at me for a long time. It was a whole situation. And on Monday, the artwork meant one thing to me, and on Thursday, the artwork meant something else. And it was the same artwork, the same week, and I got 2 completely different meanings from it. So I'm like, oh, I can share the same artworks all the time. It doesn't matter, because you're always going to see something different. So, okay, I will stop rambling and get this artwork on the screen so you can see it. And so you can type in the chat, as some of you have been doing, but you also, of course, can do voice. We love to hear your lovely voices and to hear the intention behind what you have to say. So we'll just start out and like, you know, what do you notice? What do you think is going on? Keep it very open-ended. And I will do things like share the title and the artist later. Don't like try to Google image search it and stuff. You're not going to find anything. And it's better. Your ideas are better than anyone else's, in my opinion. Okay. What are you noticing? Aha, so Laura in the chat says, first thing that came, the creator. Okay. So we're noticing that there's someone creating something. Grace is saying like maybe a wedding piece, putting all her skill and knowledge in the creation. Jill is seeing a woman who looks like she is creating something, but her hands are not embedded in the work. Yeah, they're like on top. That's interesting. But they are definitely like doing something fine. What else do you notice? Sasha says that she's drawn to the woman. It's clear she's been at this a while. Yeah, it's a very intricate thing that she's creating. And clearly takes a lot of concentration. And probably has taken quite a while to do. So several of you have noticed how engrossed she is in the work. She's really focused. She's in that sort of creative flow. And that's one of the things that I didn't write on my list, but I should have. It's probably embedded in one of them. Is that, oh, I wrote meditation. But yeah, it's like that flow state where you just kind of forget time exists and you're just with yourself and with what you're making. It's a beautiful place. But she definitely looks like she's in that place. Like she's with it. All right, we're noticing some of the pictures and symbols in the lace or the shroud or the veil. We see skeletons, flowers, moths. Could be symbols, birds. Yeah, maybe it's not lace, maybe it's papel picado, which is like a paper cutting technique that they do in Mexico. You know, you see those banners of colorful paper that hang down. That's what that is. She's making a wedding or death shroud, ancient organisms embedded in the shroud as if all that existed before her helped her make it. Oh, so she's pulling on everything she's learned before in her life, maybe in past lives, maybe in no. And that's what I feel like is when I'm making art too, is like everything I've made up until this point is informing what I'm making next. And that's what's so hard because we want to get it perfect right out of the gate, but perfect doesn't exist because you have to make a bunch of stuff before you can get, so you can build up that sort of level of experience or whatever it is. And even everything that has happened to you in your life, that like when we're looking at a work of art, like you might have had a very specific experience with one of the, I was gonna like name one of the things, but I'm like a specific experience with a fish. I mean, maybe. And Angie, you might have had a specific experience with a fish. Angie's very much into nature. So I was like, you know, your specific experience with fish like is gonna come into play with the artwork and what you're looking at. Yeah, this is this artwork in my book too? No, it's not. I did a podcast on this one too. And also, yeah, you were in the Art Connection Circle. Okay. So we have what else? Paper shadow puppet. So some of you are noticing like the shadows behind. I think a few other people might have mentioned that too. Is like there is this like layer behind the white that doesn't necessarily match what the white is. So is it a shadow? Is it a play on light? And Angie's mentioning the bra strap. I don't think anybody's ever mentioned the bra strap. I feel like I've never, yeah, like I've never heard that. Is she disassembling or is she assembling? Is she pouring herself into it or pulling her life force out of it? Ooh. Fascinating. So you're noticing some of the symbols, like what the moths being drawn to light, symbols of transformation. seeking light and darkness. There's a lot of different type of symbols there. And if you zoom in, which I have a zoom in of kind of, the pictures are not great. All of them were just slightly fuzzier than I wanted them to be. But you can see a little bit more detail in there. Like is this a bug? Is this a face? Is it an alien? And these are always pretzels in my mind. I cannot see them as anything but pretzels. And now I didn't notice at all is these nude figures here. You'll see my mouse. Yeah, okay, good. It looks like you could because it's turning blue, but. The lines coming out almost like sun rays. Yeah, so we're seeing this like these squiggly lines all coming out of the artwork and her as well. Skeleton has wings. Yes. I did not notice that. And it almost looks like it has like a headdress of some sort. Like flames or feathers.
And a heart. I just noticed the skeleton has a teeny tiny heart in the middle.
Yeah. I feel like I have never noticed that either. So what do y'all make of the brown designs and the white designs? Like, what is happening there? And again, feel free to talk instead of type. I invite you to tell us what you think out loud. You don't have to, but.
The brown figures seem more nature oriented. Even the brown on top of the white.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I guess people are nature, but yeah, it's like there's figures, there's skeletons, there's symbols, and then everything in the back, it's fish and moths and even is at the back because some of the brown seems to be on top, which is kind of confusing as well.
When you said the white, all of a sudden I saw all the white on her, like tops of her hands going up her arm, all on the crown of her head. And then again, those bra straps, I never noticed those before. It's like there's this dishevelment about her.
Yeah. And the white, though, too, makes me think of, I know we're seeing like rays coming out of it, but like the white feels like there's light coming onto her as well. Mm-hmm. So it's like the artwork is illuminating the space, but she's also receiving some light as well. So maybe it's like a spiritual connection or whatever that could be. Yeah, Monica, the geometric hexagons are interesting because there's so many natural things in there. And then we have these, but then I guess, I caught myself in the middle of saying that. And it's like, geometry is in nature everywhere. We zoom in on things, microscopes and whatever. We see that kind of thing in snowflakes and raindrops and teardrops and all sorts of things. Ooh, she can be weaving light like a spider spins silk, a web. She's taking that light and creating something with it. Oh, that's juicy. That's really juicy. Makes me go like this. When I'm going like this, I like your idea. I've probably been going like this a lot. Yeah, she's unadorned. She's just in kind of a plain black shirt, white bra, you know, um, but creating this highly intricate thing. Ooh, the pretzels are like ovaries and the dots are like embryos. I love that. Okay, symbolism of the cicada. Yeah, because we have this like that looks definitely cicada vibes. Rebirth, transformation, resurrection, spiritual awakening. The thing that she's making looks like the story of life. My poor eyes. I'm just like, I have to get my face up. Like, I need to get this chat bigger, but I don't know how to do that. Could be a womb. Yeah, and it's coming from her womb space, isn't it? It's like right there. So like that place of creation. Kara's noticing it's both symmetrical. Well, I would say it's symmetrical balance because it's not like identical, but it is like, we've got that like pyramidal configuration and we can use our art history words in there. And it's basically similar and the same, but it's not identical. Love that. So I haven't used my symmetrical balance, asymmetrical balance words in a while. And the white part is more symmetrical than the brown. So that means like, what if the white is a material, if it's lace, if it's paper, or whatever it is, what is the brown? Is it a physical thing? The past. Yeah, too, because it's like, oh yeah, Anna says the same thing. It's like, yeah, her origins. It's like, I'm getting, like indigenous vibes because of the headdress on the skeleton and like all the connections to nature, and then now mentioning the like nature of the past is like getting back to our roots as like people of the land. And then we take those nature symbols, the things we notice in nature, and we add meaning to them, and then we create things from them. Oh, a lotus on top. It does look like a lotus. I've never noticed that before. And then you need mud to have the lotus. So like maybe the brown does represent sort of what we're growing out of. Spidery alien. Love it. Yeah, I see that too. Like this thing here. And then it's got like all these arms and legs that come off of it. Definitely spidery alien. I see it. And it's almost crab-like too, because if you look at this part, and it's got these little like pointy things, like little crab legs.
Okay, I'm seeing thread. I don't know why, but I'm seeing like thread coming over her arm and onto her forearm and into between her fingers. And so if we're looking on the left side, but it's her right arm, and then she could be unraveling.
Oh, so the white that we had mentioned before, is that the thread?
Yeah. And it goes all the way
Yeah.
up and maybe even behind her neck. And then we saw that bra strap. I don't know. Just there's like an unravel. I
Yeah.
mean, why is she only half body? Where's the rest of her?
Yes, because we should be able to see that.
Yeah.
Like with this negative space here. So she's taking of herself and putting
Yeah.
herself into the artwork, creating that legacy, that like thing that moves on beyond her that someone had mentioned earlier.
Maybe she's getting ready for death, and the
Ooh.
creation is coming from her. So because she's in black, so maybe she's giving up the rest of her life source into this creation. I don't know.
Beautiful. Kara's noticing the shapes of dandelions makes me think of wishes. And Anna's saying that, Anna, if you would, I would love if you would tell me if it's Anna or Anna. It's probably Anna, isn't it? You can type it Ona. I've been wrong both ways. Okay, thank you. I couldn't stand it. I was like, I never know what to say. Oh, like Anna and Frozen. Okay, got it. I have girls so that were born in Frozen era. Okay, Anna, thank you. There is a kind of death of self when you create in the flow state. It's like you cease to exist. I totally feel that. And then suddenly you're done and you're hungry and you have to pee and you you don't know, like, and your legs hurt. You can stand up and then you like want to fall over, and because it's like you have forgotten all that you even have a body, because you're so engrossed in it. I love that space. And that's why it's like I have today I had a wide range of time. It was like my daughter's psychiatrist appointment was at 10:30, and then I had this at 6, and I had nothing else between. And I was like, this is going to be an art day. I was like, I'm going to mosaic all day long. And then my daughter's haircut was supposed to be at 5:15. My partner was going to take her, and then the haircut person was like, can y'all come at 1:30? And I was like, that means I have to go. And I was like, no, actually I can't. I was like, I made my partner take her. And I was like, no, we're not. I was like, if I have that mid place where I have to stop, go take a child to get her haircut and come back. I was like, no mosaics will be made today because I need the expansiveness. I need the space. So I was very proud of myself for saying no to that, because typically I would not, and I would have just sacrificed. But I was like, no, my art is worth it. Okay. Stamps to remind me of orange painting prints. Oh yeah, I've never done that with oranges, but I have done that with potatoes and apples. Okay, so if you had to pick, so we've come up with a lot of different interpretations. So like some of them have been, she is unraveling and putting herself into her art, creating sort of her legacy, her death shroud. Some people have said that, I think people have said that she is coming to life with it. We have not mentioned one of the interpretation that I really like. Should I bring it up? I usually don't like to bring it up unless someone else has. I'm going to. I was like, oh, this because it's my favorite one. Not my favorite, like it's mine. It's my interpretation, because first time I looked at it, that's what I thought is like the brown part. I've always seen it like a shadow, but it's not exactly a shadow. Though I love the whole past thing that y'all came up with today. But to me, it's kind of like what happens when you make something and then it has a life outside of you. And so like we're looking at this artwork. The artist's name is Swoon, contemporary artist she's so awesome. Don't Google her yet. Stay with us. And then like she's making something. And then we're here, 20 something of us, all taking our own meaning from it. And then we're going to take something from this into our life tomorrow and next day or whatever. And then like in 3 weeks from now, something's going to remind us of it. And then, it's going to live on in us. And it's going to become a part of our visual vocabulary. library. Some of your teachers might share this with your students, then they're gonna take it out into the world. And so Swoon cannot control what happens to her artwork because it's out of her hands once she's made it. And so to me, it's like seeing all those like fish and birds swimming away is like, that's like all of her ideas going out into the world. Okay, so that's an interpretation that no one brought up, but I brought up. So we're noticing a lot of transformational symbolism. We're noticing flow state. Okay, so what I'll have it on a screen in just a minute, Shannon, and with the title and everything. I want you to pick your favorite, like which one feels the most true to you, which one resonates with you personally the most, and what do you think your message is from this artwork. Like if this were a tarot card and you were to pull it today, or an oracle card, and it was a message just for you, what would that message be? I'm going to give you just a minute to think about that question. We'll do 2 minutes, and I'm going to remember to set a timer this time and give you 2 minutes to kind of think about, like, what do you think the message is for you? Welcome to the few of you who have just come in. It is possibly that you might have gotten the time zone wrong. So we've been talking for a while, but we're glad that you're here. And I'm sure that there is something still to be gotten in the last 30 minutes. Oh, Alexa, stop. That was our timer. Okay, so if you would like to share you don't have to, what do you think the message is for you from this artwork? Honor the past. Jill says, everything I create today comes from a deep historical place in my life. And I like to think too, that even if you're not creating something like intentionally serious, or if it is like you're knitting, or or you're making, like I make aliens, it's like there still is this hand of the creator, this history that you've brought to what you make, that shines through, even if it's not like this like symbolic amazing situation. Okay, Monica says, while the body will fade away and leave just a shadow of its former self, what we create lives on. Yes. Oh, I missed some comments up above. Intricate piece for royalty or religious ceremony, a creator theme, create your own destiny. What I see is different than what others do, but all is beautiful. Yeah. And that I firmly believe that when you're creating what is most true to you and what is most true of what you believe and what you think and how you feel and what you excites you, that's when you're doing the right thing. Because if you're just trying to copy someone else, or like I was getting Facebook ads the other day for like how to sell your art, and she was like, here's what you can do to make your art more sellable, like change your art. And I was like, no, that is not what you're supposed to do. No, block that person, like no way. Because the closer we can get to authenticity, to truth, to our own personal truth, that's when you create your most powerful work. All right, paying attention, working on my inner strength, design, and beauty. Yeah, there's such a presence to this piece. And if you're anything like me, you know, I have ADHD and my mind is going 100 miles a minute and it's going everywhere. But when I can sit down and create, like I can channel it. And it's just like it's a piece that I don't get in a lot of other places in my life. And that's one of my reasons. I should write that one down too, actually. Calm my mind. Oh, I did put everything goes back to meditation. Okay. Great. Harness your inner light. Yeah, I really like that whole light conversation. Create your light, harness your inner light. Your life and work, relationships, and purpose will become fossils, records of your one wild and precious life. Love some Mary Oliver moments. As a tarot card, it might be closer to a chapter on the phase of life and moving on. Yeah. Okay, so anyone else want to share that has not had a chance to share their personal meaning from this work of art before we move on to our next activity? And again, if you just joined us, welcome. I think you might have gotten the time zone wrong, but we will share the recording and you will surely get something out of the last part. Okay. My tarot card meeting for this one today was to just create. That's what I wrote in parentheses, because that was sort of the message I got at the end of 2025. I was like, what would happen if I just surrendered myself to creating art for the whole year? And that's just what I did. And then life threw a massive curveball at me and I got really sidetracked with parenting. But I have been kind of back to that again. And I was having that same conversation with my program, Becoming Art. We were having this conversation of what would it look like if we surrendered to our creativity and we just let it guide us. And at that same time where we were talking, like using the word surrender, I get a Facebook message pop up. I don't read it yet because I was in the middle of a program, but I was like, I read it later and I was like, and I noticed what I was saying, because usually I try to notice synchronicities like that. Like I don't normally get Facebook messages, and her message had surrender in it. And it was about this new like part-time job that I am going to start that is going to allow me to focus on my art. And I was like, that's magical right there. It's really amazing timing. Okay. So excellent thoughts about this artwork. I highly recommend you look at all of this artist's work. Her name is Swoon. Oh, we're going to skip that worksheet actually. Where is the title? Well, I'll type it because I transferred from Google Slides to Canva and I apparently missed something. Swoon, the title is called Alice and the Lace Maker. And what's cool about Swoon's work is she does a lot of things on paper. She does a lot of like wallpaper type things. And so she'll have the same design and it'll be on like a brick wall somewhere in some random city. And then it'll be in a museum and then it'll be on a print that she sells on her website. But they're slightly different each time. Sometimes like the one I used to use has a purple haze at the top, which was really cool, but the image is kind of fuzzy. I found this one was a little bit crisper. But she has really beautiful, meaningful works of art, installations, very different than a lot of things in this world. And I just absolutely love her to pieces. And I discovered her like 1 month after she had a whole exhibit here in Dallas, and I was devastated. I learned later and I was like, oh my gosh, I discovered her. And then like after she was here, but I will find her work in person one day. Apparently I need to go to New Orleans. Okay. Excellent. So what I want you to do next. So we're thinking about, so we have a lot of things on what you create, going on into the world, leaving your legacy. I didn't get to see her. I don't even remember. It was probably the Contemporary in Dallas, the Dallas Contemporary. But I don't remember because it was before I discovered her and I did not see the exhibit. And I will be sad the rest of my life until I get to see her work in person. She lives in New York, I believe. And she does a lot of like temporary things, like it'll be up for a while and then it's taken down, like installations and things. Cool stuff. That's really cool. No idea what I was saying when I got that question. Hold on one sec. Oh yeah. Okay. So everybody has sort of a different meaning for you, and you have your list that you created at the beginning. So if you joined us a little bit late, we created a list of why we create, why not we as people, like in the world, but like why as you create, you as a person. And I don't know about you, but I've added a few things to my list as we've gone because there were some things I didn't think of. And so what I want you to do next is to look at this list, and I want you to find a word that would describe that reason. And the words are like values words. So I'm going to show you a list of them. This is a list of core values. This one came from Brene Brown. And it's, you can see creativity, curiosity. You can view these and like figure out what your top values are. And I highly recommend you doing that if you've never done that, because it's really useful. Because I remember when I first did this, I had things like adventure and authenticity and experience and stuff like that. And then I had my partner do it, and hers were like consistency and safety. It was like the complete opposite of mine. And I was like, oh, we have been going about life with completely different like priorities, basically. And so it helped me see her side of things, and so it was really interesting. But we're going to do values in a slightly different way, in that these are going to be like your artistic values, your creative values. So for example, something on my list is, let's see, place where I feel most like myself. So that's one of my reasons why I make art. And so I can look at this list, or you don't have to use this list. This is just here to help if you need it. I might look at this list and it might be authenticity. Because to me, being my most authentic version of myself, being the most like myself is, I feel like, a very important goal in life. It might be, it could be for someone else, it could be something different, because two things could represent two different things. Like, for example, and this is not a creativity example, but like if someone really likes to play sports, like one person might like to play sports because they like competition. I was like, it's a C word. Thankfully, I have a list of words in front of me. Competition. And then one person might see it as like the freedom of it and the joy of the movement. And like they're very different reasons for doing the exact same thing. So go through your list and write down the top words that match each of your reasons. And you might find the same word is repeats itself. Like I have it's fun, and I also have pure joy and delight. That's probably going to be just like joy and delight. It's, you know, there might not be two different words. Does that make sense? Any questions? And if no questions, go ahead and get started. And if you have a question, go ahead and ask. And I'm going to give us 5 minutes and we'll check in. And the goal is to get to like maybe 5 to 8 or 10 if you can't narrow it down, but at least 5. And if you have too many, which I have learned that I have too many, suddenly did not see that coming, go through them and kind of try to whittle them down and get them below 10. If you can do that. All right, how we doing? Was that a good enough amount of time? You can always come back and work on it if you didn't finish. But we're coming up on our end time, so I want to make sure that I respect your time. I do tend to go over on these sorts of things. I was going to try my hardest not to, but I just like to talk about this stuff. Okay, so tell me, what are some of the words that came up for you in that list? And did anything surprise you?
I came up with exploration, nature, play or fun, self-expression, and beauty. And beauty surprised me. I was like, oh yeah, that one.
I love that. And knowing you, it's like as I know you pretty well, I'm like, oh yes, those are all perfect Angie value artist words. I love it. And not one of your words was on my list, and it's like, it's just so cool. Like, we're all doing this for different reasons. We're all coming at this. Like, we all feel this pull. We all are here tonight. We all wanted to explore this topic, and for different reasons. And that's so cool. So Jill says self-expression, optimism, perseverance, responsibility, and family. And then Sasha says, I create to see myself, and the core value which stood out for me was authenticity, because when we create, we're the truest and realest version of ourselves. 100%. I agree with you on that one. My daughter's in this treatment and they always snapped for everybody. So now I'm just like constantly like, it's now in my vocabulary to snap for people. Okay, intuition, openness, balance. Why did I not put curiosity on my list? Holy moly, it is now on. Now I'm gonna have to mark something off though. Curiosity and growth, humor. Oh, I love that. That one should be on my list too, because I like dinosaurs and aliens. Family, authenticity, self-expression, joy, nature, serenity, gratitude, peace, environment, future generations. And I love that what Laura says is never would have pegged them to my art, but so true. And I think that's a really good transition to really think about those blocks that I talked about at the beginning. The perfectionism, the baggage that the art world lays at your feet. Like, you have to be this like powerful, meaningful artist that has like a really important message for the world, and it's not good unless you're changing the world through your art. Like, all of that is what other people are telling you that your art has to be, when you are telling yourself here with this list, this is the artist I want to be. I want to be an artist who's authentic. I want to be an artist who's connected to nature. I want to be an artist that is connected to my family. I want to be an artist that really focuses on curiosity, or on peace, or on kindness, or on, all the words I'm kind of picking off of y'all's list. Like, that is the artist that you are at the core. And so if you're trying to make art, or to write, again, when I say make art, I'm talking broader, and it doesn't fit in that list that you just made, then that's something to think about. Because are you making art or making writing for some other reason? Is it to impress somebody? Is it to make money? Is it to and it's okay to make art to make money. I mean, capitalism, but like, at the core, that is not what creation is about, because we have been creating long before we've been making money by creating, cave walls and all those things. And I love what Susan says, I chose both safety and risk taking. And I think that is really beautiful and really interesting to think about, because what art is too is like, each art project or each piece of writing or whatever it is might have a different purpose. Like this season of my life has been a challenging one. And so I was doing a lot of writing, and then but my writing is more like, I need to be in a more emotionally and mentally resourced place to do it. And I just really couldn't. I was trying to write poetry and all this stuff, and I just couldn't do it now. I just couldn't do it. And so I was doing, like collage, and I was doing things that were more intuitive and just more that felt good in my body because I needed that place that was just for me. But now that like that heavy part of my life is kind of winding down, my daughter was in a 16-week treatment thing that was every day. Like I'm starting to like find a different way of making art again. And so it's each artwork doesn't have to fit every single one of these values. Like some art might just be for peace, some art might be for legacy. So it doesn't have to, at all. Okay. Excellent. Okay, Shannon, she'll email you. Okay, perfect. All right, so homework for you, because this is near the end. I knew we wouldn't get to this, so that's why I even have it on the slide that says homework, because this is kind of a multiple pronged thing that you can take this and you can keep going with it. And this is what I would do if you want to keep going with it. So I would take your list of values, and then this was one of the things we were going to do but didn't, is rank them in order of importance. So look, this is very hard. But so, if I have both authenticity and love on my list, which I do, I have to think, okay, which one is more important? Which one, if I had to choose only one, what would I choose? And I don't have the time to think about that right now. I'm going to need about 15 minutes to process that. But I would pick, that one or the other and put it on the top and try to get as good of a ranking as you can, knowing that tomorrow it might change because these things change really a lot. And then write your own personal definition of the value, because your definition of self-expression is going to be very different from someone else's definition of self-expression. Like you might be wanting to express your inner world and your emotions, whereas someone else might be wanting to express their I don't know, my brain has turned off, but there's different there's different ways to define these things. And so as long as you know what that word is, connection is the one I always use. Like to me, when I use the word connection, it encompasses spirituality. It encompasses connection to art. It encompasses connection with other people, like our shared humanity, because my spirituality is very much like a shared humanity situation. And then your word connection might just be between you and someone else, and that energy that you have. So really it is whatever it means to you is most important. And then what you can do is, if you get confused, you're welcome to email me and ask if you're like, I don't remember what you said about this. I will send the recording, but rank how that value shows up in your life. So between 1 and 10, how joyful is your life if your value is joy? And if it's a 2, think of some things that are keeping you from being a 3. Think of some things that'll keep you from being a 2.5. And then try to find one action that will get you slightly closer to a 10. We're not looking to get you from a 4 to a 10. That's going to be really hard. But if we can get you from a 4 to a 5 this week, this month, this 6 months, then next 6 months, we can get you from a 5 to a 6. And then you're slowly getting to fulfill that sort of life that you want. The way you want to feel in this life really is what this list is. It's not like what you want to have, but it's what you want to feel. So that's what I recommend doing with your values list. And I have found this to be very useful, and I've done it every year for the past probably 6 years. And it's different every time. And it's always eye-opening, and there's always something new on the list that wasn't on the list before. Which pride showed up for the first time this time. And I'm like, oh, pride. I'm not supposed to be proud. I'm a woman. No, I must be proud of myself. So that's interesting. Okay, so thank you all very much for coming. I'm going to share one quick thing before we go. I keep clicking this as if it's a PowerPoint, but it's not. I have a program. I've mentioned it a couple times, Becoming Art. It's kind of been an ongoing thing, but this summer I'm running it as a 9-week program. And every week from June 23rd to August 18th at this time, but pushed slightly later, 6:30 to 8 Central PM. And we will have calls like this alternating with calls that are like co-creating, co-art making calls. Because I find if you're not actually doing the making and the writing and the things, that's a problem. So we do coaching, and then we do co-working, and then we do coaching, and then we do co-working, and then we do coaching, co-working. And then we have a Telegram group that we can chat in the interim. And it's a beautiful program. I've got 3 other people in there now, and we have such fabulous conversations. We get really deep with it, and it's a really beautiful little group. And I would love for you to join us if you are interested. Go to cindyingram.com/summer 2026. I will also email you the link when I email you the recording. But if you use the discount code YICreate, you can get $50 off. Use it before Sunday, and it's only $149 for the 9 weeks. So it's a really lovely space. It's just to keep you accountable to creating. I have an email I wrote for Thursday this mosaic that I've been working on. It's more meaningful and like personal than my mosaics usually are. Usually I'm like, here's an alien. But I'm like, here's an alien who looks secluded from the background and is sad about being like different than everybody else. And I'm like, so I'm like kind of scared of it. And then I was like avoiding it. And I was going to work on something else. And I was like, you know what? I need to use this time and actually like work on my alien. So I worked on her, and now I've like gotten momentum again because I just like used that time for the accountability and to be able to say to them, hey, I'm struggling here. Like, this is like hard at the beginning where it was like, you're the mentor and you're the student. Like, I needed support in that moment to be like, I'm having a hard time pushing through this mosaic, and I just needed Jill to witness that. And then I was able to get through it. So we've had a lot of moments like that. So I would love to have you with us. Even if you can't, I'm so happy that you came today, and so happy that you shared yourself. And yeah, that's it. I'm happy to stay for questions and anything that you want to share. And otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your evening or day if you're somewhere else. I don't know what time zone Antigua's in. It's probably evening for you too, isn't it? Thanks, y'all. Bye. (8:33). You're only an hour ahead. All right, if no one has any questions, I will look forward to hopefully seeing you in the program or connecting at another time. Bye.